Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Title IX podcast and the Cyclone Fanatic Podcast Network. I'm here with my friend Alisa Woods. I'm Steph Copley. We, of course, are in the Wild Rose Casino and Resort Studio, which is where we like to be whenever possible because we get to be with Aiden. Hi, Aiden.
Hello.
Oh. You sounded like Mrs. Doubtfire.
That's what I was going for. I was just going to say it's my best Mrs. Doubtfire impression.
Hello. I was expecting like a wave.
Yeah, no, we got Mrs. Doubtfire instead. Oh, boy. Believe it or not, we've not had any Cody Road tonight.
True. That's unfortunate.
Oh, okay. Resetting. Already sweating. 10 seconds in. Here we go. The Title IX is brought to you by the Ivy College of Business at Iowa State. It was a beautiful day outside today. It feels like the maybe we've missed that awful January cold and the students can get back to enjoying campus. But there's always that one more flash.
Somebody said,
horrid cold.
I don't remember who I was watching on Instagram, but they said that their dad said that someone who was Amish said that there was going to be more snow. And if there's someone I believe,
it's the Amish.
It's going to be the Amish. So
hold on, Ivy students.
Expecting maybe a little more snow.
Oh, I always remember the advice that Barbara Mack gave me. She gave it to her whole class, not me specifically, but she was a journalism professor, and she said, make sure you cover your ears when you're walking on campus if you have earrings in, because you can get frostbite from the inside out. So hopefully there's less of those days for the Ivy students.
Thanks for that tip.
You're welcome. So let's get into the main topic of today's show, which is, of course, Taylor Swift announcing a new album.
Actually, I do have some Taylor Swift content.
Okay.
Why did she have to do Celine like that?
She hugged her afterwards. This is not the place for your Taylor Swift slander. Okay. You will get beat up by me and Aiden. Two of us against one, lady.
I really hate to say this.
The picture of them backstage was so cute.
No, I think I could take both of you at the same time.
I'm pretty scrappy.
I'm not a small woman.
I could chase you.
I would hold your head and you would just
My legs are really long though. I could probably sideswipe.
And Aiden would be on the side just shaking his little finger
Hello.
at me. Hello.
All right, Aiden, before we get into this, can you actually tell us your truthful reaction to the album announcement?
Okay, so I already told you this story.
Yes.
But
tell the world.
Yes, tell the world. So I was on my way to my roommate's intramural basketball game, and I was driving. And
you left out that part of it. You were driving. That's very important.
Okay. I wasn't driving at the time. I was in the driver's seat getting ready to go.
Okay.
And I don't really use Snapchat. But my sister sent me Snapchat and she texted me in all caps, like, Aiden, check Snap.
Like
right
911, essentially. Yeah.
And I knew something was up because I knew Taylor was going to win.
Yes. Right.
She wasn't going to go home empty handed.
That's right.
And so I'm watching the video and I literally went into shock. Like, I didn't know what was happening. And then she says, my new album.
I know.
And I'm like, reputation. And then it wasn't. And now here we are. And it's like a new season of a new show where it's like we have all these new conspiracy theories.
That's right. She's playing chess and we're playing checkers. We all thought it was going to be Reputation.
Did you know why she's releasing on April 19th? Well, the theory.
No.
Shot heard around the world, started the revolution. April 19th.
Wow.
It is her world. We are just living in it.
Amen to that.
Just saying.
Alisa, what was your reaction?
To what? Sorry.
I literally have in here my notes. Alisa doesn't care.
I'm just checking Instagram right now, you guys.
I'm sorry, we had to.
I already texted Chris. Great. I'm taking the week of April 19th off.
Oh my god.
Okay, I'll take it off with you and we'll listen together. But in honor of last night, when I ran this morning, I listened to Midnight's top to bottom, and it's been a while since I've listened to it top to bottom.
So
and
good.
Damn it, that's a good album. It deserved to win. Anyways, okay, that was tongue in cheek, Alisa. That's not the main topic. However,
okay. No,
I have been thinking about this. Like, the Taylor Swift stuff is a legitimate real life dream to me in terms of my sports pop culture fandom because it's Super Bowl week and she's a part of Super Bowl week.
Yeah.
Like my queen is a part of my sports world. That doesn't happen very often. Like my feminine queen in sports.
Yeah.
So here we are, the Chiefs, who I've grown to love, thanks to Corey falling in love with Patrick Mahomes in a Hy-Vee commercial when she was like 2, which in turn implicates Taylor Swift, who I obviously love. And we have Brock Purdy, Cyclone Sweetheart, on the other side of the thing. I mean, how can this get any better for me? I've had lots of people ask, like, where does my heart lie? And the answer is the Chiefs.
Yeah.
But I want Brock to play his little heart out and then lose. Sorry, Brock. I love you. Are you all in on Brock?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
I bought a 49ers shirt.
Did you really?
Well, I think I might have gotten it for Christmas, but I asked for it for Christmas.
Pre-Super Bowl even.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. I feel like that's how most, unless you had a Chiefs fandom prior to, that's how most cycles are going to be.
Yeah.
Do you have plans for the Super Bowl?
I have plans in the sense that I bought these little cookies that look like footballs that I want to put on a tray with a lot of other desserts. And so in that sense, yes, I have some plans.
Yeah.
But Arnold, one of Arnold's best friends, always has a party at his parents' house, and we might go to that, but we might just like stay home where we can watch it.
One of the things that you and I have always shared in common is that most of our plans revolve around the food or the snacks.
Yep. Yep.
That is what my mind goes to on vacation. Like, where am I going to eat? When am I going to eat?
Yep.
That's what it goes
Absolutely.
to for every major like TV event.
Yeah.
Football included.
Yeah.
Super Bowl included.
Mhm.
Okay. Well, that's great. Can we talk about our winners and losers? Because
Yes.
my Taylor Swift is my winner of the weekend. If she tried, I think she could walk on water at this point. But I think you have some actual Cyclone winners,
Okay,
which is why people listen to this podcast in truth. So go ahead.
So
You have the floor, darling.
So my winner is the ISU track and field team. And I tagged this from who knows when, probably like mid last week, but Caitlin Burson got the record for the weight throw. What is the weight throw?
Something I would be very bad at is what the weight throw would be.
Put here? Someone
How
needs
much
to
would it-
explain this to me.
You would, if it
The
were
weight
between the
throw
two of us, you would
program
win the weight
record
throw.
of 67, 3 1/4
Jeez.
with 70 1/4, finishing 4th. But she broke the previous records on the 3 of her 6 attempts. So that was the Iowa State record.
Right.
And then another, where is it? Another not Iowa State record, but a record that I thought was so cool is that the Iowa State 1 mile record was broken.
We had okay. All
And
right.
it was a man, which that's fine. There are also male
It's true.
records, but
They play sports as well.
Mikhail broke the mile school record at the Iowa State Classic. I just thought that was really cool.
So if we had a weight throw on the podcast, what would be your object that you would throw?
I would throw a pile of Taylor Swift albums. Okay, what would I throw? Maybe a bunch of bananas.
Why?
I don't know. Don't you think that they would just like the way that they would fall
like a boomerang? They'd fly like a boomerang.
Yeah.
I saw a video of a reel of someone taking a Stanley and just like running it over, like hitting it on the side of the and it gave me like anxiety just watching it. But I feel like it'd be fun to just toss one of those suckers.
What about a knife?
That too.
But what do you think that the mile record is?
Oh man, this is indoor, right?
Yeah.
Is it insanely vast?
I'm a little in shock, but I feel like maybe a track and field person would not be in shock.
4 minutes and 39 seconds.
3 minutes and 57
Woo, baby!
0.29 seconds. The 8th in ISU history to break 4 minutes.
That's how long it takes me to get out of bed.
That's pretty fast.
In truth, I lay there for 38 minutes, not 3 minutes.
3 minutes and 57.
That's cruising. I'm trying to think of all the things that I can accomplish in 3 minutes.
I know that he can't sustain that for 3.1 miles,
but people do.
Think of how fast he could run a 5K.
I mean, people run marathons at a clip that's close to that. And I cannot, when you start thinking about space and you get to a point and your head kind of explodes and you just can't think anymore. That is me when I think about how fast certain people run. I just cannot grasp it.
I think he could maybe run a 5K faster than I could run a mile.
He could run a 5K faster than I could take a shower.
That's not the I could take a I thought you were going to say. Did you, of course you did, but ran miles in high school,
yes.
Middle school. Did you take it seriously?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But I didn't do well. My nickname was Slowfany from my high school boyfriend.
I forgot that.
Okay.
I was thinking about this the other day that I specifically took modern dance in high school to avoid having to run the mile. I played 4 sports, Stephanie. What was I thinking?
Because you knew you weren't going to get close to that Iowa State record. And why try if you can't win,
But these days I'm like, give me gym class again, man.
Yeah, I take.
Why did I skip all that?
I don't know. I love
gym class. I didn't have to do it for 1 semester because I was in the sport.
Yeah. Yep.
But then the second semester I always did modern dance, so I wouldn't have to run a mile.
Speaking of things that scarred us growing up, the other day my 6-year-old is in this phase where she's trying to jump and she thinks she's jumping really high. I told her, I think you're going to have a vertical like your mom. And I think in her mind, she thought that was a compliment. And I told her that my high school volleyball coach told me, I don't think you could jump over a piece of paper if you tried. And I just started to think about all the awful things that were said to me.
No.
Oh my gosh. It's no wonder.
So
it's no wonder I just run far distances just to get out of my own head.
This makes me think about, I'm doing this workout right now that it's like athletic conditioning kind of, and so part of it is jumping, and there's just, how in volleyball you do like step jump,
like a
block, it's just a step, it's a jump straight up, and so I've been doing it, but where I exercise there's a light. And I'm always like, oh, don't jump too high, you might hit your head on the light.
Narrator. She's not going to hit her head.
So I had to get something out of the oven, and I was kind of doing the jumps on the way to the oven and trying to like touch the ceiling when I did it. And I was like, you know what? I don't think that light is the problem that I think that it is.
We are spectacular athletes is what we're saying.
I did get asked if I was retiring yet from softball.
And you said, hell no.
I am not.
That's right. Hell no.
That is why I'm doing those exercises.
Do them as long as you can, sister. Oh boy. Okay.
What is your was your green flag Taylor Swift?
This are winners and losers.
Oh,
green
was your winner?
That was Taylor Swift. I have losers.
Okay.
First of all, Scott Drew for his 6XL shirt that he was wearing. Buddy, like, what is it with men's shirts? We've got TJ in his schmedium and Scott Drew in big and tall.
Yeah.
Fix it, buddy.
Yeah.
Also, just Scotty didn't have his best night. People really like Scott Drew. I do too. Like, he seems like actually like kind of a nerdy guy, but very kind man. I don't feel bad about him getting tossed. I don't care how weak those technicals were.
Baylor doesn't deserve nice things.
Ever.
Mm-hmm. In their lives.
Through the end of mankind.
Never.
But my other losers, unfortunately, you had Iowa State as winners. I have Iowa State as losers, going 0-2 over the weekend with women's basketball loss to UCF and men's basketball with a heartbreaker to Baylor. Okay, here's my question to you. Who is the bigger loser? Is it women's basketball losing to UCF, who's a bottom dweller in the Big 12, just their second Big 12 win against, they got their second Big 12 win against us? Or was it that heartbreaker in Waco?
No, it's got to be UCF.
I think so too. That's just an icky, stinky loss on
Yeah.
the resume. And that Baylor game was one of the strangest games I've ever seen. And you know what? At the end of the day, like that's going to be fodder for this men's team to turn things around, and they're going to be fine.
I do have a question. So I was watching the game on
Which
silent, the women's game
Okay.
on silent, and towards the end, they just kept going to Audie.
Mhm.
Like, and is it because she only scored 12? Or why did they just keep going to her? Why did the video just keep going to her?
Oh, you mean the broadcast? Not like
Yeah.
Emily dishing
No,
it
no,
to
no,
her.
no. I mean, why did we why did we write up a play for her to shoot a 3? Was everyone else? That's not my question.
Yeah.
My question is, why did the broadcast keep going to her? It was before she even took that shot.
I don't know the answer to that. Actually, we did notice that too. I think it was because she was having an off game.
Maybe.
And there were points where she just looked gassed. And you know what? We're in the middle of the Big 12.
Yeah.
And we talked about in the last podcast, there's going to be a point when they just hit a wall. I
Yeah.
think we're there. And it's not only is it hard for players who have, like Emily Ryan in the middle of a Big 12 season, but these are freshmen, their first year doing this gauntlet of a conference, and just the length of the season in general. So like I think they're going to be all right, but they've lost 4 out of the last 5 they've played, and they just haven't looked quite themselves.
Yeah.
And you can tell there's fatigue setting in too. I don't know.
Mental fatigue.
Yeah, and you just saw their legs are not. And even Emily has done some things where I'm like, that's not you.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I'm not worried, but also they were on fire.
I know.
And then they've just completely
I feel like I knew that was going to happen.
I think I did too, but it's hard when you're in the middle of it to feel like it's going to fall off so much.
Yeah. Hopefully this happening
now,
late January or early February, means that the pendulum is going to swing for March.
Yeah. And the good news is they're off this week until Saturday. So you couldn't have asked for a better time for a Big 12 bye. Fingers crossed.
Yeah.
Seems like everybody's healthy. It's just a matter of fatigue.
I just checked my watch to see what day it is. My watch doesn't tell me what day it is.
You have a bad watch face on. We need to change that.
No, this is a dope watch face. Just the 1 number and filled in, and then the 2 numbers underneath. It looks super cool.
It does look super cool, but it's not functional.
But the other faces stress me out.
Just too much going on.
What is this? Oh,
That's what I have, kind of.
Close my ring.
No big deal. Just
No
a
big
humble
deal.
brag here. Close my ring today.
No big deal. Closed it up.
Closed it up. Can I interest you, Alisa? Switching gears slightly in some Super Bowl trivia.
Pew, pew, pew.
Pew, pew. Just to close out that conversation. So the women are off this week, and then the men play Tuesday night against Texas at Texas, which is always a
humdinger.
Horns down. Look at us, horns down. What are you going to do about it? Yeah. So I'm hoping for a turnaround for both teams. Not worried about the men. We just need to get the women better on the right track.
Yeah.
All right. Super Bowl trivia. Pew, pew!
Wait. I am worried about the men.
Oh.
And their free throw shooting.
Oh, for gosh sakes.
That's it. Okay. Sorry.
Wait, can we just talk about this really quick?
How and why?
How and why?
But mostly why?
Why do we want to talk about it, or why is it so bad?
No. Those are my 2 questions about why, how, and why.
Those are
so
fair.
bad.
I can't answer either of them, but I have the same ones.
Okay.
Okay. Can we move on?
Yep.
Okay. Cool. Excellent. Super Bowl trivia again. Okay. Are you ready?
Yes.
Super Bowl trivia in honor of Super Bowl week, featuring Taylor Swift, Travis Kelce, Brock Purdy. What is the coldest Super Bowl on record, Alisa? Measured by kickoff time.
Temperature at kickoff time. I feel as if I'm going to say that the coldest on record is 10 degrees.
Incorrect.
Below 0.
Would you like another guess? You are.
Can you give me a higher or lower?
You are on the cold end by a ways.
I'm too cold?
Yes.
Well, dang.
Well, think about this.
34 degrees.
Oh, very, very, very close.
33.
39 degrees.
Ooh.
They never play Super Bowl games in football.
I guess
weather.
that's probably a good point.
Super Bowl VI, 1972 in New Orleans. The Cowboys defeated the Dolphins to win their first Super Bowl.
In New Orleans?
Mhm.
It was 39 degrees in New Orleans?
Apparently.
Girl, it snowed twice when I lived there, and people went crazy. There were people in the ditch, and I was like, it's not even slick. I don't know what you guys are doing over there.
Yeah.
I'm driving 75.
You're that bat beat crazy woman. They're like, what is she doing?
It was not slick. It wasn't sticking to the ground, and there were, not kidding you, over 20 cars
I
in the
believe it.
ditch. And I was like, friends,
You never know. They just don't know what to do.
brothers and sisters in Christ.
Take it easy. Speaking of snow, has it ever snowed in a Super Bowl game?
No.
Correct. It is not.
Ooh, I got that because you told me that they don't play it in cold weather.
Right, that's fair.
places.
Okay. The follow-up question.
Yes.
What is the warmest Super Bowl on record measured by
Mm.
kickoff time?
In January. Nope. In February. It would be, I don't know any months in Spanish. Abril, I believe, is April. Diciembre.
Look at that. You know too.
Yeah. Wait, what was the question?
Warmest Super Bowl on record.
I would say 98 degrees.
I really want to break out into song right now, but I'm not going to. You're welcome, listeners.
Higher or lower?
Lower.
The warmest 81 degrees.
Close again. 84 degrees. The following Super Bowl. So that was Super Bowl 6. This is Super Bowl 7, 1973 in Los Angeles. Miami Dolphins defeat the Redskins to win Super Bowl 7 and complete the only undefeated season in NFL history.
Yep, because the Saints lost to the Cowboys the
Isn't that
season
crazy?
that they won.
Back-to-back years, coldest and warmest
That is
on record.
crazy. And you know what? I'd definitely catch a cold swinging that.
There's a whole year in the middle,
I
Alisa.
know, but I'm just saying if they were.
Back to back.
Yeah.
Before we move on, we want to give a
Mhm.
shout out to our friend Hopewood.
Mm.
Hi, Hope. I saw Hope
Hi.
posted on Facebook that she's been advertising with Cycling Fanatic, I think, for 2 years now.
Oh, wow.
Time flies when you're having fun.
Yeah.
We're glad to have you, Hope. Check out Hopewood, who does your Will in a Day program, hopewoodjd.com. Use the code FANATIC for $50 off. Will in a Day program. Get her done, people. Be responsible adults.
Leave us something in your will.
Yeah, please. That only seems appropriate.
Just a little something, something.
Just a little something, something. Okay, I have a question for you. What the hell is going on in women's basketball right now? I feel like things over the weekend just got sideways. Yes?
Good or bad?
Just like controversial.
Oh.
Okay.
This is not going in the direction I thought it was.
Well, there's been a high scoring extravaganza,
Yes.
which is always fun.
Yes.
So Caitlin Clark is going to overtake Kelsey Plum for the highest score in women's college basketball history.
Kelsey Plum, I would say, as a straight woman who is married, maybe the hottest WNBA player. Isn't she so pretty?
Yeah. But I never thought of her and had that conscious thought. And that's
just
interesting.
Something about her face, aesthetically pleasing.
I would agree with that.
I think she's lovely.
She is lovely. So that Caitlin's on her way. Okay. So then we have Juju Watkins scores 51 points to upset number 4 Stanford. Okay.
How much did her team had 67?
Yes. Right. So she's like 90% of the
Yes.
scoring. Most single game points by a D1 player this season.
Yeah.
Most single game points by any USC player in team history.
Yeah.
Most single game points by a freshman since Elena Deladon in 2000.
She's a freshman.
What?
She's I knew it, and yet I just got goosebumps.
So we talked about her on the podcast when she decided to go to USC because she had NIL deals before even getting there.
Yeah.
So she takes down almost single-handedly number 4 Stanford.
Crazy.
And then we have another freshman, Hannah Hidalgo for Notre Dame, had 24 points last week to lead the Irish over number 8 UConn. So I feel like we have the scoring frenzy, which I think is awesome.
Yeah.
I think that is the kind of stuff that draws more viewers to the game, is these flashy, high-profile scores, and it's fun to watch.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm looking at this like, this is so great. And then we get one of the greatest of all time, Cheryl Swoops, who goes on Gilbert Arenas' podcast and starts like railing on Caitlin Clark for breaking Kelsey Plum's record.
Right.
And she claims not in the same amount of time. She said Caitlin had a whole additional year to do it. That's not true.
Right.
So this clip goes viral, and it's just one of those things where, like, say what you want about Caitlin Clark, but have your straight.
Right.
And that was just kind of one of those, man, like, why do we have these women tearing down women, especially when you have one of the greatest tearing down another one of the greatest? And that just bummed me out. And then you have Michael Porter Jr., who plays for the Nuggets, which I had to look up because the NBA is boring. And in a newly released episode of this podcast called The Pivot, he calls women's basketball a different sport than men's basketball, question whether WNBA players deserve equitable, not equal, equitable pay, and then made the point that ping pong players are also famous, but they don't get paid like men's basketball players. So why should women's basketball players?
The only ping pong player that I know is Forrest Gump.
I literally cannot name.
Michael Porter Jr., fascinatingly, also has been named one of the most attractive NBA players.
Well, I'll be damned.
And I don't find him to
That's
be
'cause he's
as
a
attractive
jackass.
as Kelsey Plum.
You lose points if you're a
just-
jackass.
No, here's the thing is that he looks like he doesn't know what's going on, and he's good. He's like a great player, but he just kind of
jackass!
when he does play sort of looks like he's
Doesn't know what's happening.
well, like maybe the IQ is like slightly below.
This explains a lot. He said he'd watch the WNBA if they lowered the rims and started dunking. Like, just shut your face. But here's the crazy part to me is he has 2 younger sisters who play college basketball.
Yeah.
Did you know that his mom was Miss Iowa basketball in 1983?
Wow.
She averaged 60 points a game as a high school senior in Cedar Rapids.
Wow.
I just don't like, this is what blows my mind when people have these super strong, influential women in their lives and then still go say stuff like that.
Here's
It's
the
just-
thing. Anyone can
That
have
was my brain.
anyone can have a podcast. Look at us. Look at us.
I know, but when you are...
I know. I just think that sometimes when people say things on TV or on podcasts and people really get riled up about it, I just have to think that was marketingly savvy of them. It's like when Doug Gottlieb like hates on Iowa State
Sure.
in Twitter. It's like, that was smart of you because we're all going to like tweet at you. Like who was talking? And Cheryl Swoop's one of my favorite players.
Yeah, same.
Who was talking about her?
All of us.
No one.
Oh, you mean
And
beforehand?
then yeah, for the last
Sure.
how many years?
Yeah.
You know, and then she goes on this podcast and says something like kind of dumb. And it's like, oh, LOL, that was dumb. And Michael Porter Jr., like, people are talking about him because he's hot, not because
I'm talking about him
and
because he's a
also-
jackass.
Also, I'm trying, like, I do watch a lot of NBA,
I know you do.
and I'm trying to think of the last time I saw him dunk.
Hopefully never. That would make me really happy.
It's just mostly him, like,
a mouth breather.
definitely a mouth breather.
My whole thing is, I see what you're saying about the marketing,
Right.
but like Doug Gottlieb he's not cutting down a gender.
Yeah.
Like that's where the Michael Porter Jr. thing, like
Yeah.
like that you're just being a jerk to a fan base.
Right.
Like you're not being a sexist asshole.
Right.
So that's where the difference is to me.
Yeah.
And like there's a lot of legitimate criticism that you can make about Caitlin Clark and do that. Like
Yeah.
get it right, get your facts straight, and then because then that makes the other stuff like less
Yeah.
credible. So
Michael Porter Jr., I had not heard about this, but like the more I think about it, I just think maybe he thought he was being funny, and that's how I felt with the Simone Biles' husband thing.
sure.
Is that like did he think he was being funny and he's just not a funny person? Do you know when
Then
funny
stop trying to be funny,
do you know though, like when funny people try and like say something funny and you're like, well,
And it's not
and it's not like
the Golden Globes host,
Oh,
whoever that
God.
was. I can't think of it. That's
no,
a comedian.
like when Kirk Ferentz tries to make a joke and you're like,
yeah, that's
huh, okay.
do the thing, do his thing. You sound like Beavis.
I
and
know.
Butthead.
I just thought that. But like, he's not
Yeah,
he's not known for being a funny
correct,
person. And
right.
so when he makes a joke, it's kind of like, that was maybe a little hurtful.
Yeah. Regardless, no passes from me.
Right. No.
I was mad.
Yeah. It's just kind of, let me pat you on the head. You little dummy.
That's right. There's just a lot to celebrate right now about women's basketball.
Yeah.
So stay in your lane.
There's a lot
which
to
is
celebrate.
the NBA, which is boring.
Yeah.
I'm kidding, kind of.
I do love the NBA.
I know you do.
But there's just a lot going on with women's sports and women's basketball. And people just want to be the center of that attention. And sometimes it's like, you did it wrong.
Take a step back.
You did it wrong.
Alisa?
Yes.
I have more Super Bowl trivia.
Pew, pew, pew.
Which city has hosted the most Super Bowl games?
Dallas?
No.
Oh.
No.
Miami?
Yes. Welcome to Miami. 11 times hosting. Speaking of the most, one more Super Bowl trivia.
Help of that. Okay, yeah.
Which quarterback has the most Super Bowl rings? You know this one. Don't overthink it.
Tom Brady?
Yeah.
Okay.
Tom Brady was 7. Which brings me to
how many does Peyton have?
How many Super Bowl rings will Brock Purdy have before he retires?
17.
Okay, can we actually talk about this? Are we scared for Brock?
What?
Are we nervous
that
for
he's
him?
going to get so good that people are going to
I hope that's the case.
That his head is just going to
Are you
explode.
nervous? Are you nervous for him?
Of course. I'm nervous too. I'm not nervous for him. I'm nervous for my fragile ego. That he's not going to play well and I'm not going to be able to listen to
that's
sports talk radio ever again.
I get the impression that he is cool as a cucumber, doesn't pay a lot of attention to the outside world.
Yeah.
I feel like he's kind of always been like that, but especially more so since he's gotten to the NFL. And I imagine he just shuts it all out.
Yeah.
So to your point, I think I am worried about myself also.
And I'm not worried about him. If I were to be worried about somebody, it's like his O-line. Like maybe after the first half of their last game, their defense.
Oh my gosh, their defense rush
should be good.
It's not right now.
Not right now.
I am worried for exactly what you said. Like I am not worried about him personally. I am like watching. It's like watching your child in a way. Like just like you want them to succeed. Yeah. They're going to be fine at the end of the day.
I want him to succeed, but I also don't want him to get blamed for someone else's ineptitude.
Yes, that's a great way to put it.
And
that's exactly right. He will. He has all season.
100% be blamed if they lose.
Yes. Or regardless of what happens.
If they find themselves in a hole and he brings them back to the brink of a championship and doesn't win, he will be blamed. If the kicker misses the game-winning field goal, he will be. It happened before.
If the bus starts on fire before the game, he'll be blamed.
Girl, yes.
I am concerned. I feel like I have. I'm being hyperbolic, of course. PTSD from some of the ends of some big games as a Cyclone, where you could tell like the pressure, and he just made kind of one of those. Brock, what are you doing?
Yeah,
and he's had some of those. And for whatever reason, the man does not get picked off.
Yeah.
Like the defenders have the ball in their hands and they just don't complete the interception. So that's my concern.
Do you think?
Do you want to build a snowman?
Do you think that maybe he's also a wizard?
Yes, I do. I do.
Okay.
I saw something on Twitter about how this could result in a recruiting boom for Iowa State. I just don't feel like that's the case.
I think they talked about this on the radio. They had Jamie Pollard on a show.
Mm-hmm.
I want to say it was the Murph and Andy show. This could all be a lie that I
fabricated.
I also had a dream. Oh, hold on. Okay. Jamie Pollard said, like, yes, like it's exciting for us, but they don't mention that he's from Iowa State.
It's pretty
often.
rare now. Like right away as Mr. Irrelevant, it was very out there, and it's definitely come. He's more Brock Purdy 49ers quarterback now than he is former Iowa State quarterback.
Yes. save for like some Alabama quarterbacks, that tends to be what happens.
Agreed,
It's
completely.
not just us.
Right.
Did they even mention that him and David Montgomery went to the same school?
I didn't notice
ever?
it if they did.
Like,
I mean, there was
that's
they kind of
wild.
embraced at the end, but
Yeah.
obviously that was post game.
Yeah.
So yeah.
And
That's
it
a
was
great
very
point.
like short-lived. I had a dream that Emily Ryan was one of our coaches. She had graduated and she came back
I
to
could
be
see this actually happening.
and to be a coach. And I was driving here listening to the coaches show with Bill Fenley, and he mentioned something about Emily. And in that moment, I was like, "Oh, Coach Emily." And then I was like, "That was a dream."
Maybe it was foreshadowing.
I just hadn't thought about Emily yet today. And in that moment, in that moment, I was like, "Oh."
I did ask her once if she would ever consider coaching, and she said yes. So see, it was a dream, but also a reality.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, I want to have him play a game that he's proud of, so that we can all just kind of collectively have that moment of that's our boy.
Yeah.
And that's all I wish for. Okay. Red flag and beige flag.
Have we taken a break? Did we already do
we took
that?
a break.
Where was I?
You were here. You told people to put us in their will.
Oh, yeah, good point.
Do you have more before we get to the red flag and beige flag?
Negative.
Oh, I do.
What is it?
Super Bowl trivia. Which famous jeweler makes the Super Bowl trophy?
Oh, I know this.
It seems like you don't.
I know.
Starts with a T. Teal box.
Tiffany.
Yay! I've told you this one before in past years.
I know.
How much does it weigh?
Oh.
It's tricky.
How much does it weigh? We hold it up.
Lombardi trophy weighs how many pounds?
We hold it up.
We get those fingerprints on it after it's so beautiful and clean.
Hold it up.
That's right. She's manifesting.
24 pounds.
7 pounds.
Oh.
I know. It gets me every time.
Huh.
And my last Super Bowl trivia question.
We should have known.
Because the Tom Brady truck from boat to boat felt across America.
Yeah.
God, he was hammered that day.
Yeah.
Who won, speaking of Tom Brady, who won the Super Bowl the year of the infamous wardrobe malfunction?
Oh, where was I?
Isn't that funny? You can place yourself because I can too.
Was it the Packers?
I just said, speaking of Tom Brady.
The Patriots?
Yes.
Son of a gun. Who did they play?
The Panthers.
I thought you were speaking of Tom Brady because he was a football player.
My segues are better than that. I take offense to this. 2004. That was the year of the wardrobe malfunction. Which brings me to
I watched it in a church.
Oh.
And they wouldn't replay it. They wouldn't just go back and replay it.
Were you alive in 2004, Aiden?
No.
I was.
No.
Well, February of 2004, I was 2.
Oh my God. Don't come at us with the, I was alive. You were 2. You weren't alive.
Hey,
you basically were just a cluster of
like
cells.
that, you don't forget it.
And that explains a lot about Aiden. All right. Speaking of the wardrobe malfunction at halftime of the 2004 Super Bowl, because I'm great at segues, my beige flag for tonight is Usher as a halftime performer.
I thought about saying it, but then I thought maybe Aiden would have to bleep.
Like, there's just the most
Usher.
Cool. I don't know. How do you feel about Usher?
I like Usher.
I like Usher, but it just feels very blah.
I feel like Usher is good. Usher is very popular with elder women.
That's pretty good.
That was good.
Popular with the elder women. What do you mean by elder women? Are you talking about 36-year-olds like us?
No. Like older. I was gonna say, and then I was like, better not. Just remember 50 Cent doing his little. Was that him?
I don't know what you're
crunches.
Doing right
he was
now.
Upside down doing crunches.
Oh yeah, last year.
Gotta love that.
It's fine. Like I like Usher as much as anybody, but like I don't know. It just feels like very B-list for me for the Super Bowl halftime.
Wow.
I said what I said. It's fine. Like, I'll enjoy it. I will sing along. I'm sure I know way more like words than I realize, but
Besides Taylor Swift, who would be your dream?
That's a fair question. Here's I don't know that I can name someone specifically right now.
Yeah.
But here's my thought on Super Bowl halftime shows.
Yeah.
You need to go way back. Like nostalgia feels.
Yeah.
Or you need to go very modern and current. And Usher to me feels like the middle of those. Like, I'm being dramatic when I say this, but like State Fair acts kind of thing, where it's like you're past your prime, but you're not full on like.
Here's a thought, and I haven't seen anybody say this. You know who Usher discovered?
No. Do you?
Wait, I think I know it.
His name just left me.
Who is
Isn't
it?
it Justin Bieber?
It's Justin Bieber. I was like, why did the name
face was hilarious. You had it and it was gone. That's worse. Keep the Biebs out of there.
But do you think that he'll bring him in?
I don't know.
If he does, we'll ask you about it and more on wait a minute. Wrong podcast.
I guess I would, I take that back. If he brings out Bieber, I would be entertained by that. Just because it's a turn that I didn't expect until.
I think that I would get more excited for I got excited for like a group of people.
Yeah. And to me, like that was last year with the whole R&B, like
that was 2 years ago.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Last year was Riri.
You're right. And that was, to me, that's like today relevant.
Yeah.
And then the throwback was far enough. Like that's where I
would not complain after the Grammys last night. I would not complain about Billy Joel. He's still got it.
Also, he looks fantastic.
Does his eyes are weird?
That's probably because they're not real. Like he probably has a head transplant.
He did address rumors that he had one glass eye, and I know that because I googled WTF Billy Joel eyeballs, and he does not. He said.
He just has really sparkly eyes.
There's just one big one and one not as big one, but his singing was incredible. And you could tell it was actually him singing. It was so good.
Billy Joel is one of those people that I feel like no one hates.
Yeah.
Everyone can get behind.
Yeah.
All right, let's go. Let's start the petition now.
Arnold was like, he was playing a song. Billy Joel was playing a song. He's like, how many times do you think he's played this? 1 billion? And I was like, I think this is his new song. He's like, no, it's Piano Man. And I was like, this is not the Piano Man. Indeed, it was not the Piano Man.
I'm all for Billy Joel. Usher.
Yeah.
My other beige flag is, you alluded to this earlier, Super Bowl parties.
Okay.
Here's why. When it comes to the Super Bowl, I want to watch. I want to watch every play. I want to watch every second of every play. And then I want to watch the commercials in between every second of every play. Like, I don't want you to talk to me.
Right.
I just want to watch.
Yes, I agree with that.
And I feel like if I go to somewhere to watch it, like I just will feel the stress the whole time.
Right. And I just don't want to have to be being polite to my children.
Yeah.
I want to be able to
tell them to, piss off, kid.
I did tell my child to shut up yesterday, and I was like, that was probably not a good one.
Everybody's done it.
Not a good one.
Everybody's done it.
Not a good moment.
Can I tell you something that made me really proud?
Yeah.
I was gonna have to be gone for the Super Bowl. For work. I don't have to be gone anymore. But my kids cried when I told them.
Oh.
They wanted to watch it with mom.
Oh.
Made me feel good.
That does.
Beige flags?
Good. Yes. Did we already do red flags?
No.
Where have I been for this podcast? My beige flag is so this is not the beige flag part, but Steph Curry and Sabrina Ionescu are going to do the 3, and she's going to shoot from the NBA line. I mean, that's what she said anyway.
Yeah. Beige flag? All right. It just kind of is.
I don't feel like it's necessary, but Michael Porter Jr. probably does. Big old douche.
Do you have a red flag?
My red flag is people who post negative things online. And here's my issue. There's
just generally like wide sweeping.
Just
good gravy.
No, all the time.
Oh, like the negative Nancy's.
Yeah. But and there's this girl that is on the internet on a platform. And she's always posting people in her life that are like dying or getting maimed or injured.
What? Why do you block this person? Mute it.
Sometimes it's just a lot. And it's like a train wreck in the way that, like, how does all of this bad stuff happen to you?
Are you sure it's real?
I think it is, because she'll post like news articles and stuff. She really likes to post
This
like
seems fishy.
pictures of the injuries, and she also is like married.
Do you know this person?
Yeah, I do. And I do. Yeah.
I don't like this.
No, and she's married and has kids and stuff. And I feel like somebody would pipe up and be like, that's not your niece. You know, oh, my niece, blah, blah, blah. Oh, you know, my cousin, blah, blah, blah. I feel like one of them would pipe up and be like,
those are bad vibes.
Right? Bad juju.
Now I feel like I have to cleanse myself of that.
We should sage.
I was just going to say something about that. I'm not going to.
Tell me later.
I will say okay. My red flag, and I know we've joked a lot about the Taylor Swift connection, but I'm going back there. No, you'll agree with this.
Okay.
The Taylor Swift conspiracy theorists, like the people who think she is you're looking at me with a blank face.
Yeah, I don't know what you're talking about. I do know that people think Avril Lavigne is actually a clone.
I've heard that one before too. Okay. So there was a right-wing podcast host who said the Chiefs making the Super Bowl was rigged so that Taylor Swift could come out at halftime with an endorsement of Joe Biden. You know,
bless your heart.
You know the Ramaswamy guy who ran for president?
Oh, yeah.
He echoed this.
No.
Yes.
No.
And then Fox News host comes out and says she's a Pentagon asset, basically like she's a front for a covert political agenda.
No.
Yeah.
Oh, guys.
Yeah. But it's not like 5 people in their mom's basement like saying this is like a legitimate. And all I have to say to this is, at this point, I hope she freaking does.
No.
Just because their heads will like explode.
Yeah.
Like, it's happening. It's happening.
Oh my gosh. There's not enough tinfoil in the world for all of these hats. Oh, bless their hearts.
Bless their hearts. Bless their hearts.
Oh, man.
I hope Usher clears the stage for Taylor Swift to come out with a Biden 2024 sign.
These are
That's
the
what
people
I hope.
who like won't eat bananas because it's like something phallic going into their mouth. You know what I mean? Like, oh gosh.
What?
It's just too much.
What is wrong with people?
Some people.
That is my reddest of red flags. That is redder than my sweater.
There are some people who I am concerned about procreating.
Yeah, so there we go. I feel like we need to fix the end of this podcast.
I didn't know about that.
Can you?
Yeah. Is there something fun I can talk about?
Oh, actually, okay. So we're recording Monday night.
Yeah.
The We Will big football signing event is Wednesday. Alisa is making how many?
I'm making 352 packs.
So
which
that
makes
700 for those doing the math at home.
Yeah.
For attendees to the event.
Macarons.
So macarons. I'm sorry. Yes.
Yeah.
If you
Cardinal and gold.
It's so good. There's still a few tickets left. Not much.
Half of them are red, which I hear is a Taylor Swift color.
I like what you did there.
It's red and fearless.
It's what?
It's what?
Red and fearless.
What do you mean red and fearless?
Yeah. What do you mean?
The albums.
Oh, well, she's talking about.
Well, one's yellow.
Yeah. I understand. Yes.
I don't. Oh, look. This sweatshirt is cute.
Elisa's wearing a super cute sweatshirt.
Cute sweatshirt.
Anyways, if you
I haven't looked at myself. I look cute.
You do look cute. You always look cute.
Hey, screen grab.
I don't have anything else to say.
Did you get it? Okay. He got it.
See you on Wednesday at the We Will event.
Thank you for not saying see you next Tuesday. But
yes.
No, I have a class that night.
No, when are you dropping off your macarons?
I think tomorrow.
Oh, okay. I won't see you then.
Either tomorrow or earlier in the day, Wednesday.
Fine. Okay.
But I will give you a big hug after we hang up.
Will you leave me a special 2-pack of macarons?
Yeah, I've made extra.
Yes!
I've made way too many. I made some that look like hearts.
Happy Valentine's Day.
They really do look like hearts.
Happy Super Bowl week, everybody. Go Chiefs and Brock Purdy. Anything else?
I forgot the thing that I'm supposed to say. Maybe if you say your
Go
thing.
Cyclones.
Go State.
Woohoo! We're there.